I want to talk about 2021 because I feel like everything I've read, everything I've heard from you is just, it was such a pivotal moment in terms of, I know you mentioned there were mistakes made, and I feel like it almost made there be pieces of you that were misunderstood, at least from the outside looking in. And I have a lot of respect for people who can talk about that and then learn from it and just become successful in the best versions of themselves. So if you're willing, I would love to hear about that time and then just hear truly what qualities you've gained from that year.
Yeah. If what I'm guessing is kind of just like the rumors or the well, what would you call it? Like the narrative that was given to me.
Hearsay. Yeah.
Yeah, hearsay. So I think it kind of just goes back to, more like the college time frame of my career. Uh, Basically, like any college kid, a lot of people sometimes maybe like get their priorities mixed up, or things happen that kind of stick out. And for me personally, I didn't party a lot in high school, so going to college was a little bit of a difference. And I think not being able to manage that and kind of bunker down, especially towards the end, I think that's where this narrative and reputation came from. Because um, if you follow anything with swimming, people love to assume that like
Yes.
I'm like a party animal now, and like I struggle with like balance with like work and play. Um, and to be fair, when you get arrested for public intoxication, it's kind of hard to like say that those rumors aren't true. But the reality was, it was just kind of the wrong place, wrong time type of thing. And I remember um, that it was just like a normal Saturday night in college. Like, you go out, and then a lot of things happen in a just like a weird circumstance. I, for some reason, didn't charge my phone when I went, like, before going
Of
out.
course. Murphy's
Um,
Law. Yeah.
Maybe drank a little too much, but that happens. And then I just got separated from my friends, so I just kind of um, obviously pretty intoxicated, couldn't order an Uber home or get like a ride or meet up with anyone, and then kind of just like it was getting late, so I decided I was just gonna like run home, because
Run.
that's what guys do. Like I
I know,
couldn't explain
girl.
it.
Shane's like,
You
oh, I'm
can,
good.
yeah, girls don't do that, but
No.
guys, yeah, like, and that's
Shane, I
not the
love you.
first time. The crazy thing is, that's not the first time I've done it, and I'm not even the only one in my own friend group that
Of
did
course you're
that
not.
that
Of
night.
course you're not.
Yeah,
Yeah. Just a quick 10. Quick 10. Yeah. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's like it was like 2 miles home,
okay.
and
Okay.
so I was just going home, and then I don't know what happened. Somebody just kind of like, or maybe they were patrolling around and they got a call like, oh, like somebody's like drunk out, whatever. That happens. Basically, I'm trying to remember because like I was very drunk.
Yeah. And it was
But
long ago.
I think basically the thing was I was too drunk to be left, or like to like walk home on my own or whatever. So they were saying that I was like a risk to myself or the safety or whatever. So they just had to arrest me and take me downtown. And I was like, are you f***ing kidding me? I'm getting arrested right now. And
You're like, I'm half a mile from home. I'm in the middle of my
no, it
run.
was it was insane. I wish I could show you how close I was to my house. I was on the same street. I lived
Oh,
on Luther Street, and I was at, what is that road? So it's like, this is Luther Street this way, and this is another street. And I was just at the corner at the stop sign.
no.
And I just had to go, I'm not even kidding, 0.2 miles
Oh my
down
God.
Luther Street, south or whatever, and I would have been good.
Dang.
Yeah. And then, yeah, so that happened. And the timing was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was in May. So it was like, and this was like supposed to be like the last weekend of going out.
Yeah.
And of course that happened. And I was like, man. Um, So that happened, and then it eventually got out. I don't know how rumors spread, and then somehow like Swim Swam got like a hold of it or something like that. And I was
Of
like,
course. Yeah.
whatever, dude. Yeah. And then went on to not make the team. So that became like this huge deal. Like people were like, oh, like this kid's an idiot. He's, he partied himself out of not making the team and all this stuff. That could be true. Like maybe I could have just really bunkered down. But I think, we'll never know like what difference would have happened if, I didn't, drink, at all that year or something. Like, who knows? Like, obviously, maybe could have been better, but Hunter still, got the best of me in that final and Murphy. So, and I honestly, like, I went pretty fast. I was like 2.7. I was on my best time, especially at that time.
Yeah.
I don't think I could have done much more. So, yeah. But as soon as that happened, it was sealed, like, the narrative, and my reputation was kind of like stained with that thing.
Yeah.
And it was pretty annoying because I know I was very committed and very like focused on swimming, but maybe the stress of all of it, I went to a bad outlet and it kind of got mixed up and I got in trouble also while that happened, and then I kind of just couldn't get away from it, and then of course I think ultimately my time was kind of like overstayed at A&M. As great as it was, I think like anyone kind of, gets too big for some places. And I think like I had to just move on and go somewhere else. And it happened to be, like 80 miles away, just here at UT. So that was kind of like cool to do. But first I kind of had to just figure out that entire fall by myself because I was not willing to do college swimming anymore. Cause, for some people, it's just not for them. I'm definitely, I love Team USA and I can like really dive into that part, but I just couldn't really be on like a team and focus about like a team title or a team race or anything like that anymore. I really wanted to just lock in on Shaine swimming, because, ultimately I felt like I had done everything I possibly could have at my college. I won, set a bunch of records. You could keep winning and set more records, but I think I was just, and obviously missing the team, like I did not care anymore. I just really wanted to get back on the track that I was on to be an Olympian. So I told my coaches I couldn't do it. And of course, I loved them and they tried to talk me out, but I made my decision and I was not changing my mind. So I trained kind of like all of that fall, like by myself and, with one of my like close friends. He like just swam club in high school, but he was just like, bro, I'll just train with you. We'll just get
so
fucking
nice.
jacked.
That's awesome.
No, he's a real one. He's great. He's fire. And then, so we did that for a long time. And then ultimately like feelings and like everything kind of settled. And I was able to like kind of like jump back in with the college team, but just be like a pro for a little bit, with them. And that was like the tail end. So they still, even though I was leaving and kind of, maybe weren't that happy I was leaving, they still were, they were open to me being with them and they sent me off as best as they could, which is super nice of them. I appreciated that. And then I went on to have like a solid world championships.
Solid. You had 6 medals. Like, I mean, you crushed it.
It was
I feel
good.
Like that was like kind of like your breakout moment, truly. Like, I'm here. Like, I'm here to stay.
Yeah, thank God Murphy was like, I'm not trying to go, because I think him declining his spot let me go. So thank you.
Thank you,
Shout out
Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan, for giving me that.